Hi everybody, it's Mark Shellshear. This is the Mark Art Show coming to you from Galleria de las Islas in Metro Manila, Philippines. Today I want to start to talk about future thinking for the artist. What does the future hold for the artist? How does the artist grasp hold of it? And what opportunities are going to be available for artists in the future? Now, the first thing I want to say is that I believe the two most important things that an artist can do is one, create wonderful original artwork. That's your major vision of life. That's your major reason for living. It is to produce beautiful original artwork, of course. And the second major thing that an artist has to do is sell the artwork, presuming that you're a selling artist and you want to sell your work and put it out in the marketplace. So those two things are important. One, we create beautiful original artwork, and the second is that we sell this artwork. Now, sales are so important because if there's no sales, then there's no money, then there's no more art, and there's no more life. We need to earn money. And that's something that a lot of artists really stumble on because they've got this thing about art being so precious that it can't be for sale. Well, it must be. If you're in the business and you're putting prices on, we must sell our work. Now, I'm not going to talk about sales today. What I want to talk about is the next important thing for you to do is to see the opportunities of the future. See the opportunities that will be out there for you and I in the days ahead. And we must grasp these opportunities. That is why I say we must be constantly reading. We must be constantly learning. We must be listening to what the new things that are happening out there in the world, and we must be thinking about what we can do with them. The opportunities that are available for us that are coming in the future are outside of what we know. Now, so we don't know the opportunities that are coming, so that the only way we're going to work out what opportunities will be available to you and I in the future is to do something about it, and that is to learn. We need to listen to what's happening outside, what's happening in the world, what's happening on the internet, what are people saying. Now, I really believe you need to open yourself up to new thought. And the way to do that is to get on the internet and listen to some of the new thought people, the people who are talking about things like Elon Musk, people like that. Hear what they're saying and say, what does this mean for our industry? Now, here's a man who came along and changed the motor car industry. He changed it so dramatically that he threatened all the major motor car manufacturers, and now they are racing to catch up to his electric car. He's a forward thinker. He thought about the future and he saw an opportunity in the future and he grasped it today. And that's what I want you and I to do as artists. I want us to do lectures. I want us to read books that we wouldn't normally read. I want us to look at videos on YouTube and places like that we wouldn't normally look at. Ones that speak about new business principles, new thought, new techniques, new technologies that are coming. And then I want us to do something that is super, super important. And that is to sit down and think about what we've seen. And we do it with a pencil and our journal, and we begin to make notes. How can I take what I have seen and make it part of my art practice? We need to immerse ourselves in these new ideas, even new art ideas. You know, I think you all should be looking at what new techniques are about, what people are doing, even if it's outside the medium that you work in, and think about what opportunity is here for me. What opportunity can I see in the future that will impact on my art career that I can bring to me now and put it into my career? This is the way we think. You see, we need to think differently. If we always do the same things, we will always be the same. And if we always think the same way, then nothing will change. So we need to change our thinking, and the way we do that is by immersing ourselves in new ideas and new thoughts. And there's lots out there. You know, one of the most amazing things I read was about the Nokia phone company. Now, Nokia's gone today. Oh, it's still around in various operations because Microsoft bought it. But the Nokia company that was there in the 90s, which was the cutting edge leader of mobile phones, I thought, what happened to this company? So I read about it. You know what happened? They failed to grasp the opportunity of new technology that came along. When iPhones came out and everything was happening and Nokia had to catch up and produce a smartphone, instead of using Android technology, they decided to develop their own and they just lost the race. They couldn't do it. If they had embraced the new technology, the new opportunity that was before them, and had used that, we would still have the Nokia company with us today in its old form. But they failed to see the opportunity of the future. And this is what happens to so many, even artists. Artists fail to see the opportunities that are before them and lose hope. They don't say, this is an interesting thought. Here you go, an interesting thought here. A lot of artists complain about what's happening and why it isn't working for them. And yet in the midst of that complaint is the greatest opportunity that they have. Instead of complaining and saying, this is not fair, this is not right, everything's changing, the question should be more like, what can I do to embrace this and make it part of my art practice? That's the future way to think. That's how we've got to think. We can't sit back and just say, I really want it to be the way it always was, because it's never going back to the way it always was. The way it always was great. I loved it. I cared about it. But I also realized, I woke up one day and said, if I don't change and I don't embrace this new thought and these new things that are happening, I'm going to be left behind. I'm going to be a dinosaur. I'm going to be a relic. And I made the decision that the future, the opportunities of the future, we've got to bring in now and change our lives and change the way we think. And so you need to, as artists, you need to listen to what I'm saying, because it's so important, guys. We need to think about the future and what opportunities are going to be available for us, and how do we bring them into now and make them work for us. Because if we don't grasp the opportunities that are before us, we're going to be left behind. And we're going to end up like Nokia and end up like many other things that fail to grasp that the future is full of opportunities. Instead of complaining and murmuring, we should be grasping hold and say, wow, this is a super ride, and I can get lots of things here that I can embrace and incorporate into my art practice, and change my practice and make it profitable and strong and as it goes into the future. That's what we've got to do. So find out new ideas and then say, how can I incorporate these new ideas into what I'm doing? See the opportunity of the future. You know what stops people again, and here I sound like a broken record, it's fear. People fear change. You've got to not fear it, you've got to embrace it and say, my opportunities within what's happening. Okay guys, I hope that inspires you and makes you really think. Get out there, watch tutorials, do it with a pencil and paper, write down notes and things that touch you, and then sit down later and think about these things and say, how do I incorporate this into my art practice? Trust me, it works, and it can be a game changer for your life, for your art practice, for all you do and all the people around you. Because when you change and new opportunities come and you grasp them, everybody within your sphere of influence is touched, and we change our world for the better. Okay guys, you have a fabulous day. I'm going to talk to you tomorrow, obviously. Remember to reach out and touch people. There's people out there who are hurting and who really need lots of smiles and lots of hugs. Give them away generously, please. I look forward to the day when I come and visit you and we talk about your art practice in your studio. You have a great day. I'm going to talk to you tomorrow. Ciao.